Hello, Anna Heights. This is the pastor. The weather, the snow has changed our worship plans for the Sunday morning, but I wanted to encourage you anyway a little bit with the Word of God. Um, I'm going to read Psalm 46 to you in a bit, but I want to start with the story. Friday was a pretty busy day for me. You know, the cold had started to move in, and I had a day full of work I needed to accomplish. But I got a little surprise. I woke up pretty early, a little bit before 5 a.m., and my house was cold. And so I went downstairs and looked, and it said 65 on the thermostat. I said, well, that's not supposed to be 65. It's supposed to be warmer than that. So I turned the thermostat on, turned it on, and long story short, in down on the furnace. Spend about an hour of my morning that I couldn't afford working on that, and I got to go in again. And so I had to leave. Donna had to leave, and I think everything's okay. Well, I had to go by the bank at a bank I've had an account with out of town for a long time. And I thought it was to sign something like a 10-minute thing. And well, it ended up being over an hour, right? So another aggravation, another thing to throw me behind because I had a lot of work. I had to meet a man later in the day. I wanted to make sure I was on time for that. And so my day settles down a little bit going along. I hits noon, 12:30. Here, Donna, she's back to the house, and it's cold. And so it was down to the low 60s. So the furnace had stopped again. So I called the people who put the furnace in, asked them to come out and take a look at it. They said they would that day. So great, it's taken care of. And so I go through the rest of my day, and a few hours later, I hear the furnace man had been there. He talked to me, all this stuff. And 30 minutes after he leaves, it quits working again, right? And he's not coming back that day. So I get home from my long day about 7:30 p.m. and I spend 2 hours working on the furnace. And thank God, got it going, and we have heat. But it was one of those days that was full of stress and anxiety, and I was just trying to get everything done. Finally did by about 10 o'clock that night. So we all have those days, don't we? And we could say, consider it all joy when you encounter various trials. But sometimes, like today, we find the weather has changed our plans. It changed our plans for upward basketball and cheerleading. It changed our plans for Sunday services. And but let me tell you what the Word of God says. So here in Psalm 46, verse 10. The psalmist says this. The Lord is speaking. He says, be still and know that I am God. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. If you read Psalm 46, you find a lot of reason for panic. If you go back to the beginning of the chapter, it's talking about mountains that are moved into the heart of the sea. So it's talking about earthquakes that can move mountains. It talks about waters that are in turmoil and flood waters, right? We know what that's about. And then it goes on to talk about nations raging and the possibility of wars and a lot of fears, right? And so what we come to in Psalm 46 is this simple fact. The people are in a panic. They're in a panic because of circumstances they cannot control. And I don't know why, but in my mind, I picture a bunch of toddlers running around, screaming with their hands up in the air in a panic, right? And maybe sometimes that's what we look like to God. But this is God's solution. In Psalm 46:10 that I quoted earlier, he said, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. So he's going to be exalted in the nations that are raging. and he'll be exalted in the earth that is raging as well, right? And this is what he says. Uh, the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. So why can we be still in the midst of turmoil and panic and running around like toddlers with our hands up in the air screaming? Because God is still on the throne, right? So one interesting thing about this weather, it has a way to change your plans and has a way to slow you down. My day today has been much different than it would have been. It would have been a very productive, great day of upward, but we didn't have it because of the weather. And so, guess what? I was still. And I spent almost the whole morning, probably till about 1 o'clock, in my recliner, not doing much of anything, visiting with my wife, reading my Bible, relaxing, those type of things. And sometimes it's good to be still, right? Because the busyness and the anxieties of life can put us in a panic, can keep our minds and our bodies all stirred up. And sometimes what we need to is we need to be still, right? And when we're still, many times it helps us to think clear, and we see the big picture, and we're able to reflect on the things of God. And I was able to do that some this morning, and so I'm very thankful for that. And even as I worked on a project later today, I'm still thinking about this very thing, about how God is on the throne, and we can always trust Him because He is our refuge, and He is our strength, and we need to be still and trust in Him. So enjoy the snow. Hope you keep power, and but be still. Know there is God, and you can trust Him. He is your refuge. He is your strength, and He is all you need to trust in for this life and the life to come. So God bless you, family. Appreciate you, and Lord willing, we'll see you. We'll see you soon. God bless.